Now, Joseph from Group 5. We're going to be talking about Bankunited, which is part of the Bankunited Financial Corporation, which is one of the largest financial or banking institution in South Florida, precisely in Miami. They offer a wide array of financial services, banking services. Like they offer personal and commercial transaction accounts, money market, all the savings accounts, to time deposit. As you would understand, they also offer online services. As a bank, Miami, most of their activity goes toward real estate financing. Most of the loans went out to finance real estate, from construction to loans to purchase single-family homes, like from 1 to 4 residential units, and also commercial. To talk a little bit about their history, Bankunited started back in 1984. They started as United Civic Association, and then they moved the bank headquarters to Bonita Springs, in Florida, to Miami, and then in 1989 they changed the name to Bankunited Civic Banks, and there they started doing mutual funds. So, which they called it at the time mutual saving banks. And then from there, they moved the headquarters back to Bonita Springs. It's a very interesting history. And then, but the most important thing is aspect of their, I would say, something very important in their history is when they started doing stock. That was back in 1990. You understand, that was a difficult year back in 1990. That was back when we had a recession too. They started.
How you doing? My name is Giovanni dos Santos, and I'm going to be talking about a little bit of the financials behind this Bankunited. First, I'm going to start with the assets. As we know, assets is a big part of most banks. Is the assets and liabilities, which is the balance sheet. This bank consists of $13.5 million in assets and liabilities. First, I'm going to explain to you the assets that are associated with Bankunited. First being the biggest asset that they carry is loans. That accounts for about $10.2 million. The second part would be the cash due from other banks and institutions. That accounts for about $1.5 million, to give you a total of $13.1 million. Liabilities, on the other hand, are about the same as everybody should know. It's assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So the liabilities of this institution accounts for $13.6 million, which, if you can note, that is actually bigger than the assets. So that means that they have more liabilities than the assets. The primary liability they have comes from deposits. That accounts for about $8.5 million in deposits that accrue interest on it. The rest of it is from borrowed funds from other institutions. That accounts for about $4.7 million. And now I'm going to go over a little bit of the equity. Now, the equity for this bank is negative $477,000, negative $0.5 million. This is why the liabilities is higher than the assets, because the equity cannot sustain its assets. This is one of the main reasons why the bank was called upon to resign or to be pulled out from the regulators, and this is because it had sufficient capital to sustain their minimum reserve. I will now be talking about the SWOT analysis and how this Bankunited relates to other banks in the industry. First, we'll go over the strengths. The strength of Bankunited is that it's the largest bank in Florida. It's the largest holding company, and it attracts many consumers and customers. Other banks look to it for financial services as well as the community in Florida, since it is a community bank. One of the major strengths of it is also, with the restructuring, it is now FDIC insured, which means that any deposits up to $100,000 is covered by the federal government. Since it restructured with United Bank, it's become a healthier, stronger bank now in 2009, and has better opportunities to gather more market share and opportunities in the future. We'll go over some of its weaknesses now. Geographical location for which Bankunited is stationed upon, which is Florida, is a difficult area to be stationed upon because of all the default loans and default mortgages on loans due to the housing crisis. We have many banks going into failure because of all these bad loans, and Bankunited happened to be one of them. It was merged with the United States government, took over, and it had to merge with United Bank in order to become a stronger bank. And this was one of its weaknesses, because now consumers are afraid of depositing money into that bank because they have their consumer confidence is down. So now since it's FDIC insured, it covers them up to $100,000. But some people are still skeptical about whether the bank will fail in the future or not. Some of the opportunities that we have is, since it's restructured, it has newer opportunities to acquire different locations within Florida, and it has the opportunity to go outside of its box of customers and look for new clientele to come in. Another opportunity is that since it has a new management group, it will be able to bring in different people with new innovative ways to make more profit for the bank and make more money to keep in their balance sheet. Some of the threats that are associated with Bankunited is that there are other companies or other banks and institutions that are currently competing with Bankunited. Obviously, some of them that did not fail are better off because they have, the consumer confidence. A lot of people are, still, like I said, scared of depositing money to Bankunited. FDIC has covered up to $100,000, but it keeps the other.
My name is Wilfredo Ramirez, and I'm going to be talking about Bankunited and the opportunities and some of the things that caused Bankunited to fail during its early years in the state of Florida. In terms of mergers and acquisitions, Bankunited took on too much debt, acquiring too many S&L institutions, and this caused for them to have about $500 million in debt and assets. Not being able to meet their required reserves, Bankunited was seized by regulators. When they became seized, they were sent into Chapter 11, as O'Neill stated earlier, and they began a restructuring process. As of May 21st, they restructured and are promoting their extensive variety of financial products to clients, being commercial and household clients throughout the state of Florida. Some opportunities include taking the market share of Florida clients, being that Bank Atlantic, one of its rivals, do take a lot of its market share from the east coast of Florida. Bankunited purpose is to reestablish itself as one of the main headquarter banks in the state of Florida. Through career management services, we were able to realize that Bankunited is not currently hiring any prospective employees and graduates from the FIU School of Business.